listening to the Confidence Alchemist Radio Show with your host, the Confidence Alchemist himself, Keith Blakemore Noble. To find out more, visit theconfidencealchemist.com. But not before you've listened to this episode of the Confidence Alchemist Radio Show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Confidence Alchemist Radio Show. Now, I know some of you will have had confidence issues when you were younger, perhaps when you were at school, even to the extent of experiencing bullying. That's an all too common thing that happens to far, far too many people. And that's why this episode, I'm thrilled to be joined by Robert Leat, who he is, well, we'll find out a little bit more about him in a moment. But the key reason that we've got him on today is that when he was young, when he was at school, he was bullied, and he found something which helped him to build up his confidence at school and to help him to overcome that bullying. It's a great story, which I know you're going to want to listen to. So that's why my guest today is Robert Leat. Now, Robert describes himself as a baby-faced personal trainer. You'll see why in a moment. He's originally from Tunbridge Wells, but now he lives in Bristol, and he runs his own business, Robert Leat Fitness. His interest in fitness was sparked after competing in both athletics and cricket at the age of 14. He joined his first gym at the age of 15, and it was there that he caught the fitness bug. After finishing school, he went to study a degree in health and fitness at the University of Bath. Now, while he was at university, he gained valuable knowledge and experience, as well as the level 2 and level 3 qualifications in health and fitness. And that's what leads him on to do what he does today. So that's my guest, Robert Leat. Robert, are you there?
Hello. Good to be on the show.
Great to have you here, Robert. Great to have you here. So we've heard your bio, which tells us a little bit about your background and where you come from. But you can't beat hearing it direct from the horse's mouth, as they say. So who is Robert? Who's Robert? What does he do? What gets him going?
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm a baby-faced PT. You know, although I'm actually 24 years old, I probably look a lot younger than 24 years old. Originally from Tunbridge Wells in Kent, but I now live in work in Bristol as a personal trainer. Mostly my client base tends to be male, and what I typically do is I work with people who, you know, want to lose a bit of weight, mostly sat at a desk all day. And they used to be quite active, but because they're now sat at a desk all day, they're not as active, so they've gained a bit of weight. That tends to be typically who I help.
Gotcha, right. And I think most of us know people like that. We perhaps know them rather all too well. You used to have an active lifestyle, and then work gets in the way, as you say, and you end up with a sedentary lifestyle behind the desk 5 days a week, and then suddenly wonder where this midriff has suddenly come from. So we've kind of heard a little bit about what got you into it, but what really got you into this line of work, into fitness?
It was mostly because, like, when I was in school, I did like all of the sports I possibly could that the school offered. And then my PE teacher, he pushed me towards doing athletics. And then it was through doing athletics that I then sort of started looking at other ways that could help me to improve my performance on the track. And it was one of my coaches who suggested that I should probably look at doing some like gym training and like conditioning type of stuff. And that's when I went and found a local gym that I was able to join, because when I was looking to join gyms, most of the gyms you had to be sort of 16 years old to join, and I was about 14, 15. But there was this local gym that did memberships for people under 16. And that was kind of where I first sort of started getting into going to the gym and fitness.
Gotcha. All right. So I guess I never realized that was quite so common that so many gyms have this minimum age requirement. Is there any particular reason for that? It strikes me as a bit daft, really, because surely you're going to, if somebody is 14 or 12 or whatever age, as long as they're able to do the stuff, surely encouraging them to take up the gym at a very young age is going to instill that as a lifelong habit. Sure,
I think most of it comes down to, well, a couple of reasons. One would probably be insurance. I think a lot of gyms, the minimum age their insurance covers them for is 16. And then the other reason would be, like, there's some research that says up until the age of about 16, you're still growing and developing. And this is quite outdated research now, but it sort of suggests that by lifting weights, it could harm your development, which has sort of other studies have found now that that's not so true, and that weights is actually going to help you.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's those reasons.
Got it. Okay. So those old studies that suggested that doing weight training and so on when you're below 16, because your body's still growing and developing, those old studies suggested that it could be harmful, but in fact, turns out it's not, and it is actually beneficial. So it's yet another reason to get involved with these things when you're younger. Have I got that right?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Got it. So would you say there's a minimum? Would you say there's a minimum age below which people just shouldn't get involved in these things, or is it just a case of just gradually build it up as whatever level feels right for you at the time?
Yeah, I think gradually build it up. So most people, particularly when you're quite younger, probably just start with like cardiovascular training and then some form of body weight training. And if you do any weights, very, very light for weight.
For anyone who's listening who's not familiar with the terminology, you mentioned cardiovascular training. Can you tell us a little bit about what specifically that is?
Basically anything that sort of increases your heart rate. So like running, cycling, swimming, anything like that involves something that would sort of increase your heart rate.
Okay, gotcha. So my limited understanding of exercise is that there are, as you suggest, there are two different components. There's the one that gets your heart rates going, which is the cardiovascular, and then there's the one that doesn't get your heart rate going, but it's more building the muscles themselves. Is that right, or am I completely?
No, yeah, completely right there. So you've got like the one that stimulates the heart rate, and then you've got the one that basically causes the blood to pump to the muscles.
Right, got it. All right. Would you ever do something that combines the two at the same time, or is that just daft, or is it
100%? The majority of the programs that I write for people, it does that. It combines both a bit of the weights and a bit of the cardio. So normally it's like a cardio warm up, then perhaps some weights-based exercises, a bit of body weight, and then at the end I'll finish with some sort of like cardiovascular type of exercise.
Oh, nice. Makes sense, I guess. So let's take it back a little bit to when you were at school, because you mentioned that when you were at school you used to face bullying. What was going on there?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I think when I was in school, I struggled a lot with confidence anyway. I don't think I was like the best socially, but for whatever reason, people in my year at school just decided that they didn't like me, so I didn't have very many friends. There was like many a day where I would probably end up in the head of pastoral care's office in tears because something had happened. But I don't know, but for whatever reason, just people in school decided that they didn't like me for whatever reason. I don't know why that is, and decided to give me a hard time.
Which sucks, and is so often the case with bullying. It's just the pack. Somebody in the pack decides one person to pick on, and then everyone else follows them because either A, they're bullies, or B, they're following them because they're just relieved they're not getting picked on, I guess. And it's just the way it goes, which is very unpleasant. It sucks. Did the school give you any help with that at all?
Yeah, various bits and pieces of support. And one of the main things basically was like I would just, to stay out of trouble at lunchtime, I would go and sort of do some sort of sports club. That's basically one of the things they did. And then also at one point, which I think was probably the wrong decision, they just basically took me out of lessons and put me in a separate room. And I think that was probably the wrong decision for them to make.
Yeah. I guess that just makes things even worse and gives the bullies even more to pick on you.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned that a lot of your bullying you think was down to your lack of confidence, and that is a common theme that I've seen with a lot of people who are low in self-confidence become targets for bullies. Many bullies themselves lacking their own confidence, and the only way they can kind of feel anything is by picking on somebody even less confident than themselves. Confidence, it's a massive thing here. So to kind of overcome bullying, you basically built up your confidence. How did you do that, and how does exercise fit in with all of that?
Well, basically, I started going along to like the sports clubs, and I was learning lots of different sports. And then I guess by doing sports, it taught me sort of good social skills, in that I was meeting sort of other people and learning new things. And then just by seeing that improvement, you get that sense of accomplishment, that you've achieved something and that you've improved and you've developed a new skill.
Okay, got it. So you started going to the sports clubs because that was something which the school put on for you because you were being bullied. They gave you other things that you could do, and sports club was one of them. And then by becoming good at sports club, you build your own self-confidence, because here's something that you find you're good at, and something that you can see, measure your progress. You can see that you're getting better and better results that boost your confidence. Plus, I guess you're with like-minded people who are into the same sort of thing, and that makes it. I guess that must make it easier to start speaking with people when you got common ground, and from that builds up the social skills. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much the nail on the head. The other thing that sort of you get from exercising and doing sport is like a physiological benefit inside of your brain. Whenever you do exercise, you get this rush of endorphins, and that helps you to feel good, makes you feel on a high, makes you feel less stressed. So I guess that's another reason why exercise sort of helps, is because you feel on this massive high.
Interesting. So you were getting a double boost from it there. So you were getting the natural high from the exercise, and you're also getting the more sustained confidence boost by seeing the growth in your progress.
Yeah, 100%.
Brilliant, a win-win situation there. I know a lot of people who are into fitness talk about getting that natural high, that rush, and it making them enjoy it. I must admit, I've found, and I do reasonable amounts of exercise, but I don't do things like the gym and such like, because I personally always found that I just hated it, the exertion and so on, and obviously it exhausts you. That's the whole point of it, because if it's something you can do without getting tired, then obviously it's not having any effect. But I always used to find that just deeply frustrating, and the more tired and exhausted I got, the more frustrated and angry with it I got. I never managed to find that high. Any ideas where I was going wrong? Was I just not giving it enough time? Was I doing the wrong things? Any thoughts there?
It either be, like you said, not giving it enough time, or it could be you just not found the right thing for you. So you've got to find whichever is the thing that you enjoy doing. So, for me at the time, I loved doing running. I loved doing athletics. That was my main sport. I also dabbled with a bit of cricket as well. So it's like when you find that thing that you really enjoy, then that plays a part in it as well. So obviously, if you hate going to the gym, then you're not going to necessarily